Hello everyone, we are on the second to last video in this pickups series. Can't believe I'm almost to the end of this. This has been fun going over the retrospective of what I picked up the last 2 years. This is probably going into 2025 at this point. If not, it's 2 years, but yeah, this has been a lot of fun. So the next two videos are going to cover a bunch of pickups minus like two pickups that I had found during a trip to the thrift store, and I had just hit. So sometimes I won't get anything, and then sometimes I'll just get a whole bunch. So like I said, I try not to go for too much filler, but what I do is if I see something, I go and I listen to it on streaming, and if I find something that I like about it, I'll grab it, especially because at the thrift store they're like $3 maximum, and all these were in really good shape. But what's interesting is I found some that were in really good shape, and then one or two that I really wanted that were in bad shape. So you really don't know. Sometimes you just hit it, and sometimes you don't. So all of these have people's names on them. So that's just the way it was. You would write your name on the album if you wanted to hand out to somebody to listen to or not. But the first one is Holiday by America. This is on the WB label. So does not have Horse with No Name, but I am semi-familiar enough with America's catalog that I was like, okay, I can pick this up. It also did still have the printed inner label, so I was like, okay, the cover was intriguing enough. For a couple bucks, I'll give it a shot, and I'm glad that I did. It was in really good shape. All the ones that I had here picked up from that particular thrift store that day were in really good shape. Classic rock and roll. They're known for a lot of things. What year was this? What year did this come out? Let me see. Oh, this was also produced by George Martin, 74. So again, 1970s is that comfort sphere that I have when it comes to collecting rock. It is what it is. Aha, yes, this one. So I saw this one and thought, okay, is this more like a pop album? Is this kind of just like, it gives off Eddie Murphy vibes with, the cool vibes that he has. It feels like Eddie Murphy's album, but it's not. This is a full-on jazz album, and I listened to it, and I was completely blown away when I heard, and I was like, I have to have this. This is Kevin Eubanks' Opening Night, and it gives that really like 80s feel, like Beverly Hills Cop feel. I love it. This is on the GRP label, and the back cover is a little bit worse for wear, but that's okay as long as the album sounds great. That's all I care about. One thing I did like is most of the ones that I picked up did still have their inner sleeve. I do want to take just a brief second and show you the inner sleeve on this one, because that's kind of what gave it away as a jazz album. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of digging it. Like, even if it was just like 80s inspired, like 80s inspired music, I still was really enjoying it. 85, I was still going to really enjoy it. But what gave it away as a jazz album was not only the essay on the inner sleeve, but all these wonderful people on there. So there's David Eubanks, Kevin Eubanks, Buster Williams, Kenny Kirkland. So just all these really cool guys. And I'm glad that I listened to this, because it was like, oh my gosh, this is just jazz, and just really cool jazz. So you can check out some artists in each of the videos. I apologize if there are some that are not on Spotify. I can only help so and so much when it comes to these playlists, but you should definitely check out all these artists if you can. Yes. So these next two albums are semi-related. This is one that I had wanted for just a little bit. This is Loggins and Messina. So this is their debut together. I am a Kenny Loggins nerd. I love Kenny Loggins. This is on the Columbia label. So this is their debut together. Actually, I think this is what they call a tip-on jacket there. But let me see here. And no picture sleeve, but Your Mama Don't Dance is on here. So the next band that I will be showing kind of is related to this record. But, I mean, if it's Kenny Loggins. Kenny Loggins just, his stuff is great. And Loggins and Massetta's stuff, I don't hear it talked too much on here, but not that it gets slept on, but I think it's just really cool that I finally have that. And then the next one is Poco, Crazy Eyes. So Massetta was in Poco, not on this particular album, but he was in Poco. He left, and I think the story goes that he was talking to Peter Cetera, and Peter Cetera introduced him to Kenny Loggins, and that's how they formed their group. But this is on the Epic label. This is Poco's Crazy Eyes. So again, 70s era rock music. I can't go wrong with that. I love this cover. It's on really nice cardboard too. And let me see if it did have the picture sleeve, so let me go ahead and show that to you as well. To me, I use the word classic rock as kind of just like classic to me being like, oh, this is just classic, not like in classic rock. But it did come with the still printed inner sleeve. Just 70s rock. It's just, that's the era that I love. So glad to have this one. So, yeah. The next one I've talked about in my Grails video, so I'm not going to go too much into detail here. But this was my #1 Grail for many years. I didn't think that I'd be able to get this on vinyl. I credit this album as the album that got me into music. And it's one that I've wanted for forever. Was glad to finally have it. That is the Twilight movie soundtrack. Say what you will about the movie or the books, but I love the soundtrack. It's on really nice marbled vinyl. I'll pull that out and then I'll show you the inner art as well. It's really nice. You can even see it in the light. Just the colors on this. It sounds fantastic. The mixing on this is just what I wanted to hear. You know, they could have just did bare bones. They could have just slapped it together and been like, oh, here's the anniversary, a-hole. But nope. Replicates the original sleeve as well. Glad to finally have this in the collection. Again, it sounds fantastic. Decode is a song that got me to fully love music. Not that I wasn't a fan before, but that was kind of my ears were opened up moment when it came to music. And the last one I'm going to show here. Yes. So there was one time on a whim that I had picked up an album that I just liked the cover of it. You know, it was unassuming. It was called Sean Hurst and Scott One Night in Vienna. And that right now is one of my favorite thrift store pickups because it was just on a whim and I love to listen to it during a rainy day. Well, anytime I see in the thrift store anything from this particular label, I pick it up. This is Windham Hill Records. This is Sampler 82. So anytime I see anything by this particular label, I happen to grab it. Who is on here? Let's see here. William Ackerman, George Winston. So here, let me put this up for you to pause and take a look at the track listing. So I'm not familiar with these particular artists, but anytime Windham Hill I find anything in the thrift store, I go ahead and I grab it just because I know that I'm really going to enjoy it. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to watch this. Let me know down in the comments below if you've been listening to anything or if you picked up anything cool. I'd love to hear about it. And as I say at the end of everything I'm in, when the waters get rough, please keep on sailing. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.